Jennifer, our AP, listening to everything that you guys have said today, Elliott saying that tomorrow probably we'll see a lot of what we've already seen. Brad, you're not comfortable with the yellow flag situation. Are you guys comfortable with how tomorrow's race is going to be?
I have no reason to be uncomfortable. I don't know about you, Elliott.
I feel pretty safe in my car, but it's a one-time gig for me. It's probably a better question for Brad to answer. For the way the races have looked so far this week, Jenna, I don't see why this one should be any different. It's going to be, especially with forecasts coming. We don't know if rain's coming. Is it going to be a rain-shortened race? Are we going to run 100% of the race? So you're going to have all that going on too. So your crew chief's definitely going to be in your ear if that's an issue. So I have a feeling it is the Daytona 500, and everybody wants to win this race. So I just have a feeling everybody's going to be not as cautious as what we see at a lot of the other tracks. And it's just with this new formula that we have with the smaller spoiler, with the radiator ductwork, it just creates a lot more pack racing, and it creates a lot more, maybe out-of-control cars in the middle, and it creates good racing. I think we've seen great racing all this week, especially with the shootout. So I just think you're going to see more of that tomorrow. But as far as feeling uncomfortable, no, I mean, we feel safe in our cars. I think as race car drivers, you accept the fact that we have a dangerous sport. You never feel uncomfortable at that, but it's like Brad said, sometimes the most uncomfortable is sometimes if you're in the lead pack and you do get wrecked, you never know really what's coming behind you. That's really the only most uncomfortable feeling that I've ever had in the car.
Sure. I mean, I feel like, Jenna, that we walk a line in this sport between daredevils and, chess players. And, when we come to Daytona and tracks like this, we're maybe more on the daredevil side of the line. And then we go some other places where I'd say we're probably more on the chess player side of the line. And I think it's important to have tracks like this that, maybe average it back out a little bit. Ideally, we'd like to just walk straight on the line all the time. But, from a standpoint of the sport and the health of it, I think not a lot of people watch chess matches. I've never seen one televised. Or maybe I just turned the channel and didn't know it.
Long time ago
they were. They're not very exciting. So, I think it takes that right balance. Certainly, being a daredevil is something completely different as well. I think that it takes that fine line. I think that we have to walk it all the time. And, we're probably a little bit to the left of the line when we come to these places. But, you know what? I'm okay with that because I feel like as it averages out, we probably walk it pretty well.
Go ahead, Kim.
Kim Robertson, InsiderRacingNews.com. This is for Elliott. Not to kind of point out the generation gap between you and the two men on either side of you, but you did race back when there was racing back to the caution.
Yeah.
Can you discuss the difference between what Brad is
You
kind of
said you're
talking
old.
about?
He did call me old.
That's right. I'm still
Yesterday I was called a bag-up singer. Today I'm being called old. It's crazy.
But can you talk a little bit about what Brad's talking about versus the way it used to be?
I'm going to tell you what, the thing that stands still in my mind, and some of you guys might remember it, is Dale Jarrett's in sideways at turn 4 in New Hampshire, coming off turn 4 and almost getting T-boned in the door. And that's kind of when racing back to the caution went away in our sport. And 43 very happy race car drivers kind of almost stood up and applauded NASCAR for making that change. So it's definitely a safety issue. You're going to be on the receiving end of that rule sometimes, and you're going to be on the bad end of it. It's a full rotation, it's a full circle. But as far as the safety of our sport, I'm so glad we have no racing back. I'm so glad we have when the caution comes out, the field is frozen. It's still a gray area. I'm glad I'm not pushing the button because sometimes you push it too early and people say, oh, you should have let them race. Nobody was in danger. And then sometimes you push them too late. I wish there was a magic something that happened as soon as the first car made contact with something, whatever the rules may be. It's definitely a gray area as far as when to push the button to freeze the field. But I put that up with the Hans device and safer barriers and all these other things as one of the best things NASCAR has done for the safety of the 43 drivers on the racetrack.
Yeah, and don't forget the safety workers too.
Yeah, them too. Because if you're sitting there on fire or wrecked or trapped, you want the safety workers to get to you as fast as you can. Well, they're kind of fearing for their life also. They don't want to jump in front of a car running 180. But NASCAR does a good job of preaching us. I'm glad Brad brought that up. At every driver's meeting, the caution comes out, slow your pace, if you yield to the fire trucks and rescue squads and all those things, let them get to the guys that are involved in the crash. And this not racing back to the caution has definitely speeded up that pace where they can get to the cars that are wrecked just in case somebody is injured or anything like that.